fully bypassed. We got both hoses going out to the heater core. So I need to plug those holes eventually. All right, so I got the seats out, the dash out, the heater that I want to take out. Next is the floor. And really, I just want to get everything out that's coming out. Now, I was going to take all this out and like insulate behind it, but since it's part of the it is the electrical panel here. I'm not sure if this box is part of the heater down here or what, but I'm thinking just to leave, all that stuff in, and I can shove some aerogel blanket or something up in the electrical panel for insulation. Maybe, I don't know yet exactly, but I'm gonna for now leave it in. You can see here they already have some insulation here, so I don't know if I want to keep that or what. And then so the floor, there's a plate here, which I'm guessing is some access to the bolts on the top of the transmission, maybe. And then this floor is raised here. You can see this transition. So that's probably the height I want to keep it at when I'm done because of the pedals. I might be able to go an inch higher, but I'd have to figure out how the floor is going to interface with this stuff over here. But for now, I want to go ahead and get that panel up. And then just like if you see in one of my earlier videos where I removed the whole floor, it's going to be the same process. There's just plywood. So remove that plate, that transition, and that plate, and get this plywood up. All right. So it was just some screws and some bolts. I think it was like a 13 millimeter. Anyway, let's take this plate off. It is glued in with sealant. Just getting under with a screwdriver. All right. We got a transmission down there. So, yeah, the plate has to come off because I got to get this plywood out of here. And then I'll go back down with the foam insulation, the rigid foam, and then a layer of subfloor. And I think I could do maybe a 1 or 2 inch sheet of the rigid foam and then the subfloor on top of that. And I think, man, if I can get 2 inches in there, that'd be great. The rest of the floor is going to be 4 inches plus the subfloor plus the flooring. But if I went up, 4 inches here, there, that pedal, there's not enough room, and I could move the pedal up. So we'll see. Let me just get it apart and I can go from there. So next, what is it? This is the bus floor here. Okay. So, and all this needs to come up. There's this trim piece. So these screws need to come out or just be broken out if they're stripped. And then it looks like there's a little plate here with a couple of screws in it. And then this piece has a bunch of screws. Where are they? Right there. I got beach sand all in this screw there. So I'm just gonna remove screws and stuff, and I'll bring y'all back. Get this strip up. Got this screws up, so this whole mat will now come up. It's just held on under there. And then I took the screws off of this. And then the plate. So I'm not sure what's going on under there. It looks like aluminum and there's like ribs. I don't know. Figure it out as we go. This piece, well, this piece, which I might put back, so I'm going to keep that. And then I guess those two pieces. So now we can see where the floor ends here. So that's good. That gives me a definitive line. Here's a filter nobody ever changed. Probably. Wow, this is crazy. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, this whole thing is it's loose now. I just looks like I got a couple screws up there, screws for like a plate under there. So I'm gonna take all those screws and those screws out and see if this board comes up. All right, so I got the screws loose there and on that little box. So I can take the box out. It just protects those lines. I'll probably reuse that. And then this plate, one of the screws stripped, so it's still attached, but I got it detached from this board here. So now I'm going to pull this board out. So now there's some plate here, and that looks like, holy crap, they welded the bolts in. That's crazy. Looks like aluminum though. I don't know how they welded steel to aluminum, but anyway, that plate's got to come out, I think. Let me figure it out. All right, so this plate is obviously the seat mounts to it, bolts to it. It is made of aluminum. The bolts are steel, so you can see can't really weld steel to aluminum very well. So one of them broke free with just a wrench. Other ones are on a little better, so with my face shield and grinder, zoom in. So I just trying to grind the tack away. You can see what I did there on all of them. And now this is the wrong wrench. This is a millimeter metric. I believe these are standard. I'm just too lazy to go look for the right wrench, and I don't think I have any standard wrenches. So I'm just gonna see if I can get it to turn. Yep, it moved. There it goes. All right, try this one. Yep. that one turns. I don't think that the end's gonna go over. Let's see. There it goes. All right. I think there's one more. Now, stuff like this, you want to keep in mind, like, why is there a plate here? It's for safety. It's to be able to mount the seat to the body safely and structurally, all that, right? So I don't want to just come blindly ripping everything out and just put a seat down, right? I got to keep in mind, like, the seat needs to be firmly bolted in. But I don't want this to take up room for insulation. But we'll get to how I do all that later. But the idea is just think about what you're taking out, and what its purpose is, and how will you, or how you're going to put it back together, right? Where it's still going to work safely, properly, all that. And that's just with everything, right? So anyway, I'm going to just continue to wrench these bolts out, and I'll bring you back. Oh, I got all the bolts out, but I'm realizing that the plate is also welded to the floor. So to even get to the welds, I'm just going to get the plywood out around everything. So all this plywood that goes from there to there and around there, I'm going to start getting that out, and I'll wait on that plate. I might leave it in. I don't know, maybe I can spray foam under it. I don't know yet. I'll think about it. All right, so I got my bar here, and I'm just gonna, this is all rubber, so let's see. There are screws, but if they don't go all the way to the metal, I'm gonna try to just, I need to put this camera down, hold on. Okay. I don't know, let me see if this screw goes to the metal. I think it does. I'm just gonna find all the screws. I remembered I have a tripod with me today. Okay, so there's some screws under this grip tape. All right, now down to the plywood, and I see a screw. All right, let me get a pry bar in here and see what happens. All right, I see some more screws. Let me get the big pry bar and see if I can bust it loose. I'm gonna have to get the circular saw. Okay, so I cut my pattern, or I don't know what it's called, hashtags, and my plywood around the screw heads. That one's separated, and I got that one. The screw is right in that little triangle piece, so that this will come up now. Except it is connected to that piece. So there's still a piece of plywood right here. So I'm sure it has some screws in it, but it also has these bolts, which I've tried to take out already, but they just spin. So that means there's got to be nuts on the bottom side underneath the bus. There's one there and one there. So I'm going to grab some vice grips so that I can go on the bottom and attach the vice grips to the nut, and then come to the top and loosen it. Okay, I'm under the bus now. I've come under the driver area. There's the front of the bus. So this is the driver area. And I see the nuts right there. So I'm going to attach the vice grip to the nut, lock it down, and then I'll bring y'all to the top. All right, let's see if I can find the socket. Okay, I'm on the outer one. All right, let's see if this works. Bam. Heck yeah. Okay, so we got one piece left. For now, that's it. I gotta clean up. I got a huge mess to clean up, but y'all don't want to see that. All right. So I think that's it for this video. I just wanted to get all the junk out of the way up here, the dash panels, the heater, the floor, the seats, so that I can get full access to the wires, because that's really the job I was after here, was to get to all the wiring in the bus and start working on that. And, deleting all the circuits I don't need and adding ones that I want to add. Yeah, I'm going to build a custom wood dash with custom switches and custom cluster and all the, really nice. I don't want to have a bus that's like really, really nice inside just to have, an industrial early 2000s dash with a bunch of unnecessary switches, So, and it'll make it more reliable, just less wires that can short out and blow fuses and issues like that. And also an advantage of going through the whole system is now I will be familiar with the wiring system. So if something goes wrong, I can understand it and it's not so scary. It's not like just a mess of wires anymore. I actually have gone through every circuit. I know generally what everything is, and it will make everything a little less scary. So, all right, thanks for watching. If this helped you or if you liked it, like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, put in the comments down below why and what I could do better. And if it involves more work, I probably won't do it. But thank you.